So, Andre, thank you for accepting our invitation.
Yeah, of course. It's my pleasure. Thank you for taking some time to speak to us.
Did you already meet Maik, maybe
No.
in Basel?
No, I
No?
don't. Maik,
No.
no, it's the first time we've spoken.
Okay.
Maik is a fundamental guy here.
Yes, I understand.
Much
Yeah,
more important than me.
Yo.
But the only way I need to be a good friend of him, otherwise he doesn't give me any watch. So I think no, really I think all the design, the product development, and so on is in the hands
yes,
of Mike.
yes, I understand.
So as
Yes,
maybe I already mentioned to you, in Portugal he does everything from scratch. Then he will tell you the details. So
great.
any interesting question about products,
Yes.
the reason why and how it's done is for sure Mike.
With Mike.
The reason why is because he pushed me every day.
Really?
I need a new watch, so that's the reason why.
Yeah, because other people push him, so he has to push someone else.
Yeah.
I try my best.
So
I go gentle with him.
Yeah.
So please let me know. I mean, let us know how we want to do it.
Yeah.
Did you get I think some material, also some pictures and everything?
Yes.
From
Yes. Today I just don't have the new Tourbillon with me because João couldn't get it to me on time. But I have the fantastic SkelTec with me. So these are two pieces that you've launched very recently, and they're very special. They are a little bit different from what we are used to see from Chronoswiss. I mean, the Tourbillon we can easily recognize because it follows the same design language you've been making these years, but with some very special details. It's a regulator, it's a tourbillon, and it shows the open gear concept. And my main question is, this watch is to celebrate the 20 years of the first regulator tourbillon that Chronoswiss made. Of course, now it's completely different, and even though they are 20 years apart, if you look at both at the same time, they look much more than 20 years apart. So there's a big evolution.
Yes.
So I would like to know what's the idea behind this new tourbillon, and especially why you've chosen the blue case.
The idea of the tourbillon is the first was, should we make a tourbillon or not? Because everyone makes a tourbillon. So why Chronoswiss should do a tourbillon? Yes, and they say, okay, we can do one, but we have to make it different, completely different than all other things. And then the tourbillon comes in the collection. Okay, yes, this is the right idea for the tourbillon. We make it completely different.
Yes, because Mike, you have been with Chronoswiss since 2013.
Yep.
And that was a year later since Olivier took over the company. So from that moment now, we've seen a completely different Chronoswiss. You still maintain the DNA of Chronoswiss. We can recognize Chronoswiss, but it's completely different. So I think the new Chronoswiss, it's something that was born from both of you. And what was the inspiration, and what way do you want to go with Chronoswiss?
Okay, we are a small brand, and if we make watches, we are one of 100 brands. They do nearly the same style.
Yeah.
So, and it is for a small company very difficult to find the place in the window. Here in Lucerne, you have the most watch companies of all over the world in the window. So, if you want to have more
recognition and
yes.
I mean, and you to be different.
To get noticed.
then we
Yeah.
need to be different.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the idea was away from the mainstream. We make a watch that looks completely different from other watch brands, but we use the Chronoswiss DNA.
Yes.
But we developed into to
Yes,
2021.
because the watches you make now aren't watches, so everybody will like. You make watches for a special kind of watch people. You either
Yes.
you like it a lot, or you don't like it.
Or yes.
Yes, so that's the approach of Chronoswiss right now. You make
Yes.
different watches, and people either like it or love it or don't like it at all.
It's correct. It's
Yeah.
correct. It's the only way for us to survive and to be profitable, because as you know, watch industry is full. It's
Yeah,
crowded.
yeah.
Maybe too many brands.
Yeah.
So to be another brand doing the same things of others is nearly impossible to sustain in the long term.
Yeah.
And as Mike said, we kept the fundamental points of Chronoswiss about handicraft, about the style of the case, the crown. I mean, all these details on the product, which is always Chronoswiss since the beginning, but rethought in a modern way.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is also the reason why we went for the blue tourbillon, which we have it here. We will quickly show this to you. I mean, it's as Mike says, it's a tourbillon, but it's not a tourbillon. It's really something different from many others.
Yeah.
So for the sales, I'm talking more about sales. As you said, if people love it, they might invest this money in such a product.
Yeah.
But it's not comparable to anything else.
Yes, for me and for the people that are outside and that follow what Chronoswiss does, your approach to the market is something like more similar to an independent. You are much more closer to the customer, and you make not so many pieces. So your objective is not to have a store window full of watches. So you make less watches, you make more special watches, and you have a different approach right now. So you try to be closer to the customers.
Yes.
For people outside, it looks like more of an independent approach to the market. Could this be a guide for you to follow the way independents work?
Yeah, I mean, I think that being in contact with partners, and partners means distributor, retailers, agents, and customers, it's fundamental. You know, also this year with this pandemic crazy situation, the bling bling era is gone.
Yeah,
is gone. So many brands are suffering because they were used to earn without doing a proper job. Let's say this way.
Yes.
For us, it was not a bad year because we are small, we are flexible, so we can adapt very fast. And also because, as you say, we are getting closer and closer to people. So the people is the key word before product.
Yeah.
It's the only way to succeed. And that's, I think, is a path that we will have to follow if we want to be there.
This year was very difficult and very different for all. How did you adapt to this situation, and how did Chronoswiss face this year, and how did you keep this proximity with your customers?
For sure, not being able to travel or to do events didn't help.
Yeah.
Didn't help the some sellout, because when we go and do small events with the retailers and partners worldwide, it usually works well because you can really bring the philosophy of the brand up to the end, up to the end consumer. So it usually works well. But we compensate with being there 24 hours a day, even in tough times, even when the retailers are closed or were closed, because it's exactly in the difficult moments that you can make even more difference.
Yeah.
And it's not only being partner where everything goes fine, it's also to be partner also when the things are a bit more difficult.
Not so good. Yeah.
And partners, I mean, the old traditional retailing or distribution channels, then it's dead. Because if you wait for customer entering your shop and trying to sell some watches, it's of course not possible.
Yeah.
So it's to go and propose things in a proper way, in a luxury way, and to have this personal and exclusive approach to people.
Yeah.
So retailers felt very well supported, also in tough times with ideas. So one has to be creative, but creative is maybe overused nowadays.
Yes,
We have to go back to the roots. Everything is a new creative. Actually,
Yes.
there is only one thing: stay, talk to people, understand the needs. And I think the product, there was no doubt that the product is a beautiful product. And as you say, that it's a product not for everyone.
Yeah.
We do, let's say, 2,000 pieces in a year. So it's not that we have to sell 25,000 pieces. We have to find 2,000 people around the world
That like your products. Yeah.
choose Chronoswiss.
Yeah.
So it's difficult but not
Yeah.
impossible if you have the right tools, if you have the right approach, if you understand their needs
Yes.
and their wishes, because
Right.
it's a luxury product at the end.
You spoke of creativity, and I know Mike as a background in jewelry and goldsmith, and Mike, you like to put really your work in your watches. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How does
But
that?
it's not
How does that
goldsmith.
that experience? How does that experience go into the design of your watches? Does it influence anything?
Yes, but I worked 18 years for Fabergé in design and development and involved in guilloche, enamel, and all these things. So if I do a skeleton watch, I can sit there on my desk and make it by hand.
Really?
Also here on the guilloche machine, I cut the dials for our limited editions by hand because I know how it works.
So you do it
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
You just don't design. You like to put your hands on the job.
Yeah.
So
For the tourbillon, all the dials are cut it here on the machine with
really
these hands.
by hand. So
Two right hands. Yes,
so
two right hands.
so when someone buys a watch from Chronoswiss, they really know that the person who designs it understands and can do the job, and it's actually done by hand.
Yes.
So
That's different to other companies.
yes, for sure.
In a small company, you come here inside, shake hands. At this time, not shake hands,
Okay.
but you can talk to me and you can see the machine, how I work, and you can see how your watch is done.
So
That's the difference.
So for you that you design the watches, but you do understand how they are fabricated. You understand the difficulties and the processes. So because there are usually the designer and then the engineers.
Yeah.
They don't see stuff the same way. So for you, it's different because you understand both sides.
Yes, for me, it's design and the development. That's I make the drawings on the computer. All designs are done on 3D with the computer,
Yeah.
and then I make the rendering. And the development of the watch, I think, oh, how can I do it? Because I know how to do it, and then it comes together.
Yes.
It's not only I make a drawing and say, look at this drawing, please make it
Yes.
visible.
You-
Yes, not like this.
You understand what needs to be done after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Maik, I saw this for the first time in August when Massimiliano was here in Portugal. The SkelTec, I mean, if I cover the name Chronoswiss and I show the watch to someone, most people won't say this is a Chronoswiss. This is very different from what you usually do.
Yes and no. The case is, I name it Chronoswiss 2.0
Yeah.
because all the details from Chronoswiss are there, but in another way. The crown comes with a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
The case, the surfaces are floating, but the beginning is our normal case, and then develop into another construction and another design.
I see some. The case is Chronoswiss. The turn bezel is Chronoswiss. The crown is Chronoswiss, but the lugs are very different.
Yes.
The general is it's. Can we see some of this design in the future in other pieces?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think the first feedback from the market, because at the end we it's also the feedback from the markets, because if nobody likes the new idea, well, we need to reconsider everything. Actually, the SkelTec is doing well. People understand the work behind. It's also another price point for us. It's more or less double than what was our collection till August. But people understand the skills, the knowledge to do such a piece, and the sellout, which is the most important thing, is also positive.
Good.
We have also a couple of good examples in Portugal that tailors bought it, invested in the watch, and it sold out.
That's great news.
Which is the most important thing.
Yes, of course.
Exactly, the piece that you have on hand was sold in Lisbon, I think 1 month ago.
Great.
The number one.
So because this isn't just a watch, skeletonized watch. This is something that you start from within. The movement itself was made to be like this. So you just don't skeletonize the dial to show the movement.
No.
You really build the movement from inside out, and you made the watch. So I'm sure that there's a lot of design and engineering just to make this movement.
Yeah.
So
the idea was different. Normally you take a movement and you cut out, then you make a skeleton. For this one, we said, okay, we will do a movement directly in a skeleton. Not to cut out, we make the developing in a skeleton movement. And yes, it looks very spacey.
Yes.
But you say it's for Chronoswiss is a very, very special design. We have clients, they ask me, I like the watch. Can we change this and that and this? So this is the small company.
Yes.
And the people are like this. And then you can say, okay,
we can do it. Yeah.
You have to wait 3 months, then it's done.
Yeah, that's the advantage of being of producing in small quantities, and you being able to do everything in house. So if a customer likes this watch but wants something in a different color or a different finish, they can talk to you and you can do it.
Come here inside or and mail, or we make a Skype call and say, look, can we do this or that? Yes, we can do it.
Yes, that's something.
You are so close to your client, and if you make a project with your client, you come close and you like him and you know him, and it's more personal.
Yes.
It's not only you buy a name and that's it.
So I think that's very important nowadays, because sometimes people are just too focused on the price and the availability of the watch, but for me, for example, I care a lot about the connection I have with the watch and the connection I have with the people that make the watch. And so Chronoswiss right now it's very close to its customers. So after you've made this year 2 fantastic pieces like this, the SkelTec and the Tourbillon, what can we expect next from Chronoswiss?
Oh, yes. Yes, we continue with a small series of limited edition with hand guillouche and with colors. So we make new mixes of colors. We developed a new surface, and yes.
More surprises.
More surprise and.
Okay, so guys, thank you so much for taking your time and speaking with me and all your Portuguese fans. It was really nice to get to know Mike, and I think people appreciate that not only you design the watches, but you really get your hands on them too.
Yes.
It's really special. So
Thank you very much, Andre.
Thank you.
Do you want to quickly show only the tourbillon mic? That's or
Oh,
just,
yes,
you will receive the watch anyway. I don't know if you can appreciate the details, but
Yes.
at least people can have an idea of what we are talking about.
yes, I think in the next 2 weeks I will have the watch and to make a proper review and photos and show everyone because the watch is fantastic.
It's very nice. Yes, it's nice.
So guys, thank you so much for this time. I hope we can
Thank you.
see each other next year, maybe without masks,
Yeah, maybe.
and have a drink and dinner.
Thank you very much, Andre, for
Thank you
your
very much.
passion
Thank you so
and for your
much.
support.
Have a good year.
Take care.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye, bye.